They can be long or round, large or small. These prehistoric barrow mounds dot the British countryside. There are prehistoric barrows all round Stonehenge, for instance, in the form of dozens of bowl barrows which are spread out over the Salisbury Plain like large green blisters. And you can look on any Ordnance Survey map and they'll be marked with the familiar tumulus or tumuli. And there are about 20,000 sites of burial mounds or barrows scattered around Britain. Now the two main forms are the Long Barrow, which dates from the earliest Neolithic and the Bronze Age, and the Round Barrow, which comes in four main shapes really: bowl, bell, saucer and dish barrow. Now the Long Barrows are the oldest surviving monuments in Britain, and to me the most interesting, but they're also the most complex, with passages and chambers for many people, and are still impressive today, a lot of them. Now the source or inspiration for the design of the chambered long barrows remains unclear still, but I like the idea that they were inspired either by natural rock formations or the earlier cave burials. And after sitting in many of these cramped but atmospheric mounds, I realised that they are very cave-like really. I think our ancestors were trying to replicate caves in a possible cave-free landscape, or in their own personal space or area. Also, I've noticed that most have some very strong acoustic properties, very much like caves. I've also read a theory that the design was based on the wooden longhouses from the early Neolithic. That's somewhere for the dead to live. It's also thought that part of Neolithic longhouses could possibly serve as a tomb, at a compartment of the living area. There is also frequent occasions of child burials in some longhouses. It could explain why they're so long as well. And the idea of these long barrows might have its origin in the habit that they piled up soil and rock over the ruins of deserted or abandoned houses containing burials of ancestors. I've read there are examples of remains of long structures that were originally interpreted as longhouses but later reclassified as barrows. So the structures associated with long barrows represents houses for the dead. When these sites were first constructed, they must have stood out in the landscape, these bright white chalky mounds covering dank, dark chambers. These long barrows may have served as like territorial markers as well, dividing up the land, signifying that it was occupied and controlled by a particular community, and thus warning away rival groups. And they can be anywhere between 65 foot and 400 foot long, and they had a mixture of uses, being used as shrines for the living as well as tombs for the dead. Now, long barrows nearly always contain the same three elements, like a ritual forecourt, an entrance area, and a passage leading into the mound with one or more cells leading off where the remains are contained. And many have false entrances, which you thought may have been intended as a spirit door to allow the dead to enter and leave. And long barrows seem to have been opened from time to time for the addition or removal of ancestors for ceremonial use. Now the Cotswold 7 group of long barrows has the densest concentration, it seems, where more than 150 survive, often located on prominent hills and slopes, where they may have served as markers in the landscape, as I mentioned, along ancient pathways. I'd imagine it was an emotional and uncomfortable experience, crawling into the narrow passages and removing or adding bones to their resting places. So it must have been an important part of their lives, really. By around 3000 BC, most long barrows had fallen out of use, and it seems only West Kennet Long Barrow saw continued activity for another 500 years. And many of these chambered long barrows have not remained intact, having been damaged and broken up during the millennia. In some cases, most of the chambers have been removed, leaving only 3 stone dolmens, which I still find very exciting and spectacular when I come across one. And long barrows still have a hold on our psyche even today. Even Tolkien and Lord of the Rings trilogy seems to have drawn on the Wayland Smithy landscape.